A lonely child locked in Kensington Palace became the woman who built an empire. But the walls remember her secrets. Princess Victoria was born at Kensington Palace in 1819 to the Duke of Kent dying. Her father died 8 months later, leaving her mother controlling and desperate. The Duchess of Kent imprisoned young Victoria in the Kensington system of isolation. Victoria slept in her mother's bedroom every single night for 18 long years. Her mother and John Conroy controlled every moment, hoping to dominate her future. They forced her to tour Britain's great houses, but she despised the manipulation. Young Victoria found escape in Kensington Palace gardens, sketching and riding alone. She educated herself in the palace library, reading history, politics, and languages. The palace rooms were deliberately kept cold and uncomfortable to break her spirit. But Kensington's walls witnessed her silent rebellion through her secret diary entries. At dawn on June 20th, 1837, they woke her at Kensington, saying she was queen. Victoria's first command: "Move my bed out of my mother's room this very morning." She banished her mother to distant apartments in Buckingham Palace within 3 weeks. Buckingham Palace became her fortress of freedom, though it was unfinished and chaotic. The palace had no proper kitchens, flooded rooms, and a sewage system that failed. Victoria didn't care, because these imperfect walls were finally hers alone to command. She met Prince Albert at Windsor Castle and married him in 1840 at Chapel Royal. Albert hated Buckingham Palace, calling it disgraceful and demanding complete renovation. Together, they added the famous East Wing and balcony, where crowds gather even today. But Albert dreamed of a private paradise away from London's suffocating palace life. In 1845, they bought Osborne House on the Isle of Wight and rebuilt it entirely. Albert designed every detail: Italian towers, private beach, and rooms filled with light. Osborne became Victoria's haven, where she swam, rode horses, and raised 9 children. She gave birth to her children at Buckingham and Windsor, hating every pregnancy moment. Victoria called childbirth the shadow side and suffered postpartum depression in silence. Her children were raised strictly, sent away to other palaces when they misbehaved. In 1848, they purchased Balmoral estate in Scotland, building a new castle by 1856. Balmoral's granite towers and highland wilderness gave Albert peace and creative freedom. Victoria loved Balmoral's isolation, where she could escape protocol and wear simple clothes. Then, December 14th, 1861 shattered everything. Albert died at Windsor Castle Blue Room. Victoria ordered the Blue Room sealed exactly as it was for the next 40 years. Fresh clothes laid out, daily flowers changed, and his chamber pot kept in position. She wore black mourning for 40 years, abandoning Buckingham Palace almost completely entirely. The nation called her the Widow of Windsor, hiding in castles while Britain suffered. But from Windsor's towers, Victoria controlled her empire through endless state paperwork daily. She refused to open Parliament, live in London, or show herself to her subjects. Instead, she retreated to Balmoral for months with her Scottish servant John Brown. Rumours spread that Victoria secretly married Brown in a midnight ceremony at Balmoral. The royal family despised Brown, but Victoria gave him rooms and power over staff. She built a cottage at Balmoral called Glassalt Shiel, where she and Brown escaped. After Brown died in 1883, Victoria built a statue and garden shrine at Balmoral. In 1877, Victoria became Empress of India celebrated with Durbar rooms at Windsor Palace. She hired Indian servants, especially Abdul Karim, teaching her Urdu in palace chambers. Abdul was given rooms at Windsor Balmoral and Osborne, shocking the racist royal court. Victoria's children begged her to dismiss Abdul, but she refused until her final breath. She added the Durbar room at Osborne House, filled with Indian gifts and decorations. By 1900, Victoria had reigned 63 years longer than any British monarch in history. She spent her final days at Osborne House, Albert's gift surrounded by sea views. On January 22, 1901, Queen Victoria died in her bedroom with children around her. Her body was dressed in white, not black, with Albert's dressing gown beside her. Hidden in her coffin photos of Albert, a lock of John Brown's hair jewelry. The family immediately destroyed thousands of letters between Victoria and Brown, forever gone. Her son, Edward VII, inherited the throne, but despised Osborne giving it to nation. Edward VII renovated Buckingham Palace, removing Victoria's shrines and opening sealed rooms finally. Windsor Castle's Blue Room was finally changed after 40 years of morbid preservation exactly. Balmoral remained private property, still used by royals who follow Victoria's exact traditions. Kensington Palace, where the lonely child suffered, now houses a new royal generation today. Victoria ordered monuments built across Britain, but her greatest legacy is her palaces. These walls witnessed transformation from abused child to empress who shaped the world. The houses whisper still of secrets, burned letters, sealed, and a woman who defied. Queen Victoria didn't just live in palaces, she made them extensions of her power. Every room choice, every building, every sealed door was her way of controlling destiny. The girl locked in Kensington became the woman who locked rooms at Windsor forever. Her palaces aren't just history, they are psychology built in stone and secrecy lasting.